All right, so for today's video, I kind of wanted to talk about, um, why does this matrix hate children, basically, or like why do demons hate children, right? Because this is like a huge thing that is a part of this matrix, which is it's a big question. Like, why is pedophilia so rampant in the structures of power? Why is like the hatred of children, like the antinatalism, the abortions, right? Like taking pride in abortions and stuff like that. Like why is that so rampant? And like the child sacrifice to Moloch and stuff like that. Like why is that such a rampant, you know, thing with this sort of demonic cabal? And I think like the biggest reason for this is because of the fact that like demons hate humans, hate humanity's divinity, right? Like the divine spark, our connection to the higher self, and everything else. Right? I don't like to use the word higher self, but you get what I mean, though. Like the connection to divinity, which they don't have, right? And so, if you think about it this way, children are the ones that are the most connected to that divinity. And so because of the fact that children are more connected to their intuitive capabilities, they're more connected to the higher self, they're more connected to the the imagination, they're more connected to they're more sensitive to all that stuff on the spiritual level, right? And because of that, it's like children are most connected to that which demons hate the most, and so that's why they hate children the most, because they're connected to that which they hate the most. Like, literally like the reason why they hate humanity is the connection to divinity, and children are the most connected to that. So that's why they hate children the most, because children represent. It's literally the opposite, or it's like children are literally everything that demons hate. The innocence, the connection to divinity, the knowledge of good and evil, the wisdom, like the wisdom of the inner child and everything else, right? The children are the most connected to that, and demons hate that most of all, which is why there's like the child abuse, the child rape, the child torture, the child sacrifice that is just so rampant in this matrix, right? And so I just wanted to make a video about that, because like that's the reason why. It's almost because it is sort of like a weird thing, like why pedophilia, right? Why target children? Right, and that's the reason why, is because they're connected to that which demons hate the most. And another thing that I think is the reason why children are targeted is not least because of the fact that they're more programmable, right? So this is why like the children are put into the school systems, in order to teach them a version of history and a version of everything that's just wrong, right? They're taught to obey authority, and to subconsciously obey authority. Don't step out of line. You have to ask permission to do everything, right? Stuff like that, right? So you have stuff like that, but you also have the fact that because children are more connected to the intuitive faculties, because of the fact that they have more of that connection to the subconscious mind. What another thing that I think is a reason why they target children is because of the fact that they want to essentially utilize these children's intuitive faculties. And this goes to like this reminds me of a movie called The Dark Tower. That talks about how like there's like this NTD race where it's like it's like a whole like reptilian thing, where it's like reptilians wearing skin masks, and they're trying to utilize like the power of the psychic energy of children in order to break into the earthly realm, right? And, yeah, so the Dark Tower is a movie that talks about that, right? But I think that's another reason, is because of the fact that children are more connected with psychic and intuitive faculties. That's one of the reasons why they either to suppress that faculty so they're not dangerous, or to try to weaponize that faculty, right? Because they do try to weaponize a lot of the stuff that we're able to do, like engineering. They try to weaponize that against us. Like the other thing about Project Bluebeam, think about directed energy weapons and all that stuff. Human beings designed all of that, but this entity race is using that against us. Okay, so that's another reason why they're targeting children, is because of the fact that they're more connected to those faculties, and this entity race, this cabal, wants to weaponize that in a certain way. And also you also have like the energy harvesting, the loosh harvesting, that comes from that, because of the fact that children are more innocent. They're not as roughed up by the world, like because if you're an adult and you stub your toe, you're like, okay. It's like for a couple seconds you're like, oh fuck, I stubbed my toe. But if a child does it, it's much more intense for them, because they're not used to being in this reincarnation trap. They're not used to incarnating into the physical body, and so whenever they do this, that all of these Moloch rituals, all these satanic rituals where they torture children, and they sexually molest children, they psychologically abuse children. It generates more of that negative energy, that loosh, and they consider it a purer form of loosh. It's almost like, if you think about it, it makes me think of like crystal meth and Breaking Bad. It's like the pure meth versus like the diluted meth. It's like that, but with like the loosh harvesting, right? And children, for them, from their perspective, children generate more like a pure, you know, concentration of that energy, and also in higher amounts because of the fact that they're not used to it. And this is why they especially do, and this is going to sound, super super dark, but this is exactly what they do, is they target newborns also, right? For this very reason, is, oh, they just got here, so they have zero frame of reference for pain and suffering, and so they bring as much of that pain and suffering to this child as possible, and then they feed off of that energy, that demonic energy, right? And so I just wanted to make a video about that. Like, why does this matrix target children? Why is pedophilia and stuff like that so rampant? Why does this matrix target children? Why do demons hate children? Is because of the fact that children are connected to that divinity, and so there's more manipulation that can happen. Whenever this entity race, whenever this cabal targets children, there's more manipulation, there's more leash harvesting, there's more abilities that they can weaponize, there's more programming that they can put into children at an earlier age that they can't, that they'll have a harder time doing to adults, right? So, I brought up all the points that I can think of. Leave a comment if I missed anything. I think there's like a billion reasons why they target children in this matrix, but yeah, that's the video.